The truth is, most dental offices are not very good at handling phone calls. In fact, many practices lose patients even before they walk through the front door. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a very common phone scenario that happens in a dental office every single day. I'll show you what goes wrong, how it should be handled, and 3 tips to help you improve your phone calls. So why is this even important? The very first phone call is one of the most important moments between the practice and the patient. It sets the tone for how the patients think about your practice, and the truth is you don't really get a second chance at first impressions. And I can't tell you how many times we have patients where they say, "Oh, I was actually going to go to another office, but they weren't really nice on the phone calls," or "I was put on a pause or a hold on the phone and they never got back to me." Basically, something happened within their first interaction that made them decide that they weren't even going to do business with that practice. So if you want your practice to grow, you have to be very clear and aligned with your admin team on these expectations so that you have the highest possible chance of converting the patient into an appointment. So let's walk through a very common call scenario now. A patient calls the office and asks, "Do you take my insurance? I need a dental implant. How much does it cost?" "What insurance do you have?" "Delta Dental Insurance." The receptionist confirms that the office accepts the insurance and asks if the patient wants to schedule the appointment. "How much will it cost me?" We don't know yet. We need to verify with the insurance first. Do you have your insurance card with you?" The patient does not have the insurance card at the moment and says they'll call back. And we all know what happens. The patient never called back, and we just missed an opportunity there. So what went wrong? I think the biggest issue is that many offices don't have an exact process for how to handle different call scenarios. And it results in a lot of missed opportunity and a lot of new patients who end up never booking the appointment. From the patient's perspective, it was a completely reasonable question. Most patients typically want to know if you accept the insurance and how much will it cost me. Most patients are not asking for the exact number, but they simply want a ballpark, right? But in this situation, the receptionist basically tried to rush the process, asked if they wanted to book the appointment first. They failed to address the main concern that the patient had, which was price, and because their questions weren't answered, the patient automatically disengaged. Tip number 1, take control of the conversation. The first mistake was that the receptionist never took control of the conversation. One of the easiest ways to take control of the conversation is simply by asking for their first name. When you ask for the name, it unlocks 2 important things. First, it allows you to redirect the conversation. For example, if the patient is only focused on the price, once you've taken control of the conversation, you could guide it in a more productive direction. You might say something like, "Michael, that's a great question. Just so I understand a little better, have you already been diagnosed by another dentist, or are you just starting to look into implants?" Now you're learning more about the situation rather than getting stuck up on the pricing, because the reality is, giving the exact price over the phone usually doesn't help the dentist that much either way. Treatments could vary depending on the price and the conditions and their insurance, and you're probably not going to be the cheapest in town, and you don't want them to judge you just based on the fees. So instead of turning the call into a price comparison, you guide the conversation towards a consultation where the doctor could evaluate everything and give them a clear treatment plan. Using the patient's name also just makes them feel better. It makes them have that feeling that you're actually having a personal interaction and they know the office and the office knows who they are. So it allows the office to build rapport, get personal connection with the patient. Tip number 2, have a framework for different scenarios. Here is a general framework that you could follow. 1, there should be a warm greeting. 2, they should ask the patient's first name. This could sound something like this. "Smile Dental, this is John, and I can help you. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?" You could brainstorm this with your team, think about how it best suits your office, and then make sure that your team is consistent. Number 3, they should also listen to their questions and concern. Number 4, they should reassure and offer a next step. And finally, they would close and book the appointment or collect the contact information to get back with them. This is just a general framework to follow. As you know, there could be 100 different scenarios that the office might face. For example, a patient might call for an emergency consultation, or an emergency exam that they have to be seen for the same date. It could be a price shopper who's just calling a bunch of offices and you just happen to be one of them and all they want to know is the price. It could be an existing patient who got home and now they're facing extreme pain and they have to come back. So for these different scenarios, it's important that you have a call flow and a framework around how to best answer the phone call. Because the last thing you want is for your office to stumble and sound disorganized, because the truth is the patient will think that the office is disorganized and people will make judgments. So you really want to think about how to handle these different scenarios, these different conversations, and then create frameworks around it. Here is an example of what I considered a good conversation around a good framework.
Thank you for calling Smile Dental. This is Caitlin. How can I help you?
Hi, I think I need a crown. Do you guys do crown and how much is it?
We certainly do, and I can definitely help you with some pricing. May I ask your name?
Yep, this is John.
Nice to meet you, John. Are you having an issue with the tooth right now, or were you told previously that you might need a crown?
My dentist told me I might need one. I just want to know, how much it costs.
The best way for us to give you an accurate number is for the doctor to take a quick look at the tooth. We offer a complimentary consultation, so after the doctor evaluates the tooth, we can provide a clear estimate. Would morning or afternoon work better for you this week?
Morning usually, but can you just give me a range?
A crown typically costs between $1,500 and $1,800, depending on the material and whether buildup or other steps are needed. Your insurance might cover a significant portion, so if you provide your member ID, I can verify your benefits before your consultation. How does that sound?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. I have Tuesday at 10:30 or Wednesday at 9 available. Which one works better for you?
Tuesday.
Great. I have you scheduled for Tuesday at 10:30. John, if you can come about 10 minutes early, we'll have a quick form for you to fill out, and the doctor will take a look at that tooth. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Nope, that's it. Thank you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I spent the last 10 minutes talking about the importance of a phone call, and then I show up with a phone call handled by an AI. So let me clarify something. What happens in the phone is absolutely critical to your office and to the success of the office, and that'll always be true and will continue to be true. Now, as I'm sure you've been seeing, AI has come a long way. I don't believe it should or will replace human interaction and the personal connection. Patients still value speaking with a human. Personal connection will always matter. But where I think the AI could help is making sure that the patients don't fall through the crack. For example, during after hours, lunchtime, or if all the phone lines are tied up, then that's where the AI could step in, maybe even book the appointment instead of going straight to voicemail. So I think AI can help provide a better experience than going to voicemail. And I think as of right now, that's, the best that it could do. Now let me leave you with this thought. Top performing offices answer more than 75% of the calls, and of the 75%, they book about 90% of them into the schedule. So answer every call you can. I will attach in the description below a call audit log, as well as a few different scripts for a few different scenarios and frameworks that your team could refer back to. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, and I'll be sharing more insights on how to help dental practices grow to excel. All right, see you guys later.